Now on KGW, we are following breaking developments in Southeast Portland, where police have shot and killed a man. Plus, what the woman accused of kidnapping a 5-year-old told police about why she did it. Then,
we are taking away opportunities for the most at-risk, high-need students in the building.
A program that's helped students from falling through the cracks for more than 50 years faces big budget cuts. And when First Lady Jill Biden plans to stop in Portland. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Tim Gordon. We're going to get right to breaking news tonight. Portland police have shot and killed a man. They say opened fire on them first in Southeast Portland. Let's head over to Alma McCarty, who's live near the scene. Alma, you just got a briefing from police, including the chief. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Tim, well, let's just start off where we're at right now. We are in the Hazelwood neighborhood, and access to some of the roads out here, East Burnside and 124th Avenue, that's been cut off for a while this afternoon into the evening as Portland police investigate this police shooting. Now, officers, as you had mentioned, told us that one man is dead after an encounter with Portland police, which followed the CERT team serving a search warrant at a home on Southeast 124th Avenue. Now, just moments ago, we learned that 4 officers got to the home around 5:15 this evening. About an hour and 15 minutes later, during the service of that warrant, police say a man fired a gun at officers who then returned fire. Portland police tell us that there was a medic on the team and the medic immediately began life-saving measures, but that the suspect was pronounced dead at around 6:38 p.m. Portland police say they recovered a gun near his body and that no officers were injured. Here's Police Chief Bob Day.
We're fortunate that our officers will be going home safely to their families, and I'm grateful for that. I'm committed as an organization to a very thorough and transparent process. We'll be releasing as much information as possible, as quickly as possible.
Now, I asked specifically what the officers were serving that search warrant for, and Portland police couldn't really disclose any of that information, only telling me that it is related to a major crimes unit investigation and that several people involved have been detained. Now, as for those 4 officers involved in the shooting, they have been placed on paid administrative leave, which is standard protocol in situations like this. Tim, back to you.
Thanks a lot for the live report tonight. Let's get you caught up now on tonight's other headlines. First Lady Jill Biden is expected to make a stop in Portland this week. She'll be here Thursday afternoon for a fundraising event, but the White House is not releasing any details on exactly where that'll be. She's only expected to be in the city for a few hours before heading on to San Francisco for another fundraiser on Thursday night. Well, a grandmother has been arrested after police say her 10-month-old granddaughter was exposed to fentanyl while in her care. This is a photo of the drug paraphernalia Tigard police say they found in 53-year-old Julia Apostello's car. An officer noticed her passed out with the car running and the baby in the back seat. This was in a parking lot of the Tigard Plaza Shopping Center Friday. The baby later tested positive for fentanyl. The mother was found at a nearby business with her 4-year-old child. And Portland police say they are investigating a social media post by a group claiming responsibility for last week's arson at a PPB training facility. 17 cars were burned in the fire early last Thursday. The post says people cut through the fence at the Northeast Portland facility and set 10 fires in anticipation of the police response to the PSU library occupation. So far, investigators have not linked the arson with the protests on the Portland State campus. And now to new information on the woman accused of kidnapping a 5-year-old boy last week in Southeast Portland. She was arraigned in court today. Catherine Cook is in the newsroom with what we've learned about the case. Catherine.
Tim, according to court documents, the woman accused of kidnapping the 5-year-old says she got permission from the boy's mom to take him. That mom told police, not true. We also learned the woman accused of kidnapping is a transient from Bend.
Leanne Osborne said very little as she stood before a judge Monday. It was the 31-year-old's first court appearance since police arrested her for second-degree kidnapping. She pleaded not guilty. On Friday morning, Cheyenne Stallsworth happened to spot Osborne with a missing 5-year-old boy. They were near Southeast 151st and Millmain. Cheyenne recognized them from a photo police had shared and called 911.
I feel like it was by the grace of God that I saw him, and I'm just thankful that they didn't take him anywhere.
As for where the two did go, court documents shed some light on the 13 hours the boy was missing. Police reports show he and his mom live at these apartments near Southeast 151st and Stark. Around 8 p.m., the boy's mother called 911. She told dispatch she'd fallen asleep and couldn't find her son. For her part, Osborne told police she'd taken the boy to a nearby store for drinks and snacks, claiming he had permission from his mom and had spoken with him and given him candy in the past. The boy's mother said she doesn't know Osborne and that no one had permission to take her son anywhere. The two were spotted at a nearby Chevron station and 7-Eleven and on a TriMet bus. Later that night, Osborne told police she and the boy got lost, so she built a fire for them at a nearby school where they stayed the night. In his report, a detective wrote Osborne told him that her phone had died, so she couldn't call 911. She also said people weren't helpful to her when she asked for help in finding the child's apartment.
Again, Osborne pleaded not guilty to charges of second-degree kidnapping and second-degree custodial interference. The judge ordered Osborne be held without bail until a detention hearing. She's due back in court next week. Tim.
A concerning case, Catherine. Thanks for the update. Well, trial began today for a suspect accused in the death of an off-duty Vancouver police officer. This is a complicated case from back in January of 2022. At the time, 22-year-old Julio Sgura was on the run from police after he allegedly robbed a gas station. He ended up at the home of Officer Donald Sahota. Investigators say the two got into a fight, with Sgura stabbing Officer Sahota multiple times. Opening statements today focused on whether Sgura knew Sahota was a police officer.
He says this, I was confused. He said it one time. I couldn't tell. He seemed like he might have had some training, but I couldn't tell if he was a police officer.
Don Sahota has his gun and is walking with his gun kind of back like this toward the defendant, tells the defendant that he's a police officer and tells the defendant to get on the ground because he's arresting him. The defendant admits in his confession that Don Sahota identified himself as a police officer.
Now, during the skirmish, Clark County deputies arrived at the home and shot Sahota, mistaking him for the suspect. Sgura then surrendered and was arrested. Although it was the deputy's gunshot that killed Sahota, Sgura is still charged with murder. The trial is expected to last 3 weeks. Now to a heartbreaking burglary, both in terms of the money and history lost. A Vancouver shop owner is out thousands of dollars after a thief stole rare jewelry, some of which dates back almost 100 years. This happened at Most Everything Vintage last week. Joe Ranieri reports now the community is helping out.
Walk through Most Everything Vintage in downtown Vancouver and you'll feel like you're walking back in time. From a Letterman sweater dating back to the 40s to a vintage projector, they have just about everything.
I think the hardest thing is most likely that person had been in the store and you just don't know who they are.
What owner Elisa Tatral doesn't have anymore,
my cost in that jewelry is around $4,000.
Her vintage jewelry that was stolen last week, some that was from the 1920s.
You can see kind of crowbar marks on the door. So basically they had just pushed and bent the door jamb and just wedged it open enough to get in.
She doesn't have any security cameras, but she expects whoever was behind the break-in knew what they were looking for.
Then I looked inside my jewelry case and noticed that they had swiped 2 rows of jewelry. The upper row was newer artisan jewelry, silver and bronze, which I'm guessing they thought was gold.
They also broke the door to her office. Tatral says she's never had issues in her 14 years here. And according to Kim Kapp with the Vancouver Police Department, burglary is down 24% citywide. But what has this business owner amazed?
All day long, it was just a constant flow of just encouragement and you got this and, we're here for you, we're praying for you.
The generosity she's been seeing from her friends.
The Vancouver Downtown Association stepped in and they were able to get me a grant up to $250 to help pay for video cameras. So we'll be working on that here really soon.
And the community since the break-in.
That was Joe Ranieri reporting. And speaking of how close she is with her customers, many of them have donated clothes to help. Tetrol says she's already received 50 garments and a couple boxes of jewelry as well. As for the doors that were busted, that's going to cost her about $4,000. Well, new at 11, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek signed a housing package today that was the focus of her legislative priorities this past session. The Native American Youth and Family Center in Northeast Portland hosted the ceremonial signing. The bills, with bipartisan support, aim to boost housing production, fund infrastructure in communities across the state, and develop a revolving loan fund. Well, still ahead on KGW News at 11, struggling students work to get back on track, but the program helping them do that is in danger of losing half of its teachers. Plus, an exciting playoff matchup for the Portland Winterhawks. Goes into overtime. Will they be crowned conference champs?
I'm Matt Safino. The weather is going to champion sunshine at the end of the week. We still have a day like this on the way tomorrow. This is today at the Reserve Golf Course. Showers and sun breaks up in the mountain. The snowfall has been unbelievable the last 8 days or so. And we're going to experience weather whiplash as we head for the 80s. Find out if we'll see 90 before the week is out.